I'm so conservative.
You've seen the ads.
I blow up government spending.
And the promises.
I have detailed plans to
principal building a
Jared Polis.
Walker will work controlling politicians like Beto O'Rourke.
Ted Cruz has not done that.
It's time to stop the spin and cast your ballot. Welcome to Texas. People here are already casting their ballots with early voting. This state is home to one of the most watched races in America. What could the difference be here and in the other hot races across the country? Facts to help you make a smart call. We approve this message. This is The Race. Welcome into The Race. I'm Chris Stewart, and in just a couple of days, we are going to know the results of the 2018 midterm elections. Really all comes down to this. Now, we're in Houston, Texas, a rainy day here, but we're outside of a polling center and people have been showing up to cast their votes because this state has early voting. This state's also home to one of the most watched races in America, and that is Congressman Beto O'Rourke versus Senator Ted Cruz. Now, there's a lot riding on this race as well as a lot of races across the country, and let's face it, right now, politics, they can get heated. But there is a restaurant here in Houston that says that behavior needs to be left at the door.
We survivors! We bleed survivors!
The videos have gone viral.
Ditch Mitch!
TMZ footage of Senator Mitch McConnell in Louisville, Kentucky.
Gary Nielsen, how dare you spend your evening here eating dinner as you're complicit?
Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen in D.C.
We believe survivors! God bless you!
Protesters confronting politicians at restaurants. It may happen in some places.
So glad you came in. Will we see you again?
But not here.
I would probably muscle them out with all my muscles. Yeah.
Renee Reed and her husband have owned George's Pastaria in Houston for 30 years.
We just wouldn't allow it to happen. I don't think our other customers would allow it to happen.
Let my wife through.
When people heckled Texas Senator Ted Cruz at a D.C. restaurant in September, she put this sign up to send a message.
We wanted Ted Cruz to know, and any other politician, you can eat here and you'll be respected and appreciated, not just by our staff, but by our other customers.
Because politics can be a testy dinner table topic.
We don't really talk politics with the neighbors.
Charles Griffith and his wife feel like rare breeds in their Houston neighborhood.
Because we're Democrats.
They already voted for Beto O'Rourke.
Beto trying to tell the people what he wants to do and why he wants to do it. I think he's run more of a much more positive race than Cruz has.
Just a couple tables over,
I have already voted, and I voted for Cruz.
friends Betty Stoney and Noeline Berkalow see it differently.
I approve of most of the decisions that he has made in Congress.
I believe what Ted Cruz believes in, and I do not with Beto.
We went to the same church, and I like him.
All right.
Reed also supports Cruz, but
Everything good, gentlemen?
when it comes to who walks through her restaurant's door,
Our feeling is the restaurant industry should welcome everybody. That's what we do. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you're in.
a message that everyone is welcome at the table. Now, these Senate and House races across the country are crucial to the balance of power in Washington. Right now, that's in the Republicans' hands, but Corey Rangel's taking a look at what might happen if that shifts on Election Day.
House Democrats have put together an agenda if they win back control. They call it a better deal, and their priorities include lowering health care costs, increasing pay, and cleaning up corruption. Democrats offer a few specifics on how they'll get it done, but on health care, Democrats say they'll hold insurance and drug companies accountable.
I think Democrats are going to want to do a deep dive and figure out, okay, what else can we do? And part of that comes with oversight, with hearings, with task forces, with really taking a look at the issue.
Also on their agenda, a $1 trillion infrastructure bill that Democrats say will create good-paying jobs, but leave out how the plan will be paid for. Democrats are also pushing for other ways to give some Americans a pay raise.
Raising the minimum wage is one. And I think also putting pressure, on, a lot of these corporations that benefited from the tax bill for, giving some of that money back to their workers.
Democrats say they also want to clean up corruption at the White House and in the administration.
You have the ability to conduct investigations, to hold hearings, subpoena power. I mean, those are all ways that that Congress can hold this administration accountable. The Republicans have just chosen not to do it.
Of course, having an agenda is one thing. Winning enough elections and then getting it passed is another. For The Race, I'm Corey Rangel.
Now, the party in power in Washington is just as important as who holds the power in your state capital. Newsy's Alex Miller and cartoonist Nick Rafferzo teaming up to show how gerrymandering influences who's in power.
This midterm, Democrats are trying to regain control of Congress and Republicans are on defense. Whoever wins those races will likely have a big advantage to keeping their seat and their party in control for the next decade. On the state level, the party in power gets to draw legislative districts every 10 years. Oftentimes, they group people of the opposing party into the same few districts, and for themselves, they spread their voters out into multiple, much smaller districts. That's called gerrymandering. Because every district gets a representative, the party in power winds up with their people in control. So why would we want gerrymandered districts? Well, because, let's face it, life is messy and people don't live in perfect squares, and sometimes those odd shapes do help represent communities who may otherwise have been underrepresented. Right now, it's completely legal to gerrymander for partisan reasons, but the fight is growing both in the courts and in Congress to get rid of it.
Still to come on The Race, a look beyond Texas to some of the hottest races across the country and why it matters even if you live somewhere else.